My journey is just like that of many young or emerging adults. It involves me just really struggling with mental health and kind of struggling with finding balance and not only acknowledging but kind of working on my mental health and my relationships while kind of simultaneously building on my identity and figuring out like where I want to be and what I want to do with my life and in this world. And so a lot of my journey kind of revolves around the fact that I was born and raised here, and I grew up in this beautiful outdoor community doing all these activities that we love to do. And I've always felt like the outdoor community of Summit County has kind of had my back. And so the big goal and like challenge of my journey was just learning how to use this community and this support system and all the resources it has to offer to not only overcome hardships, but to appreciate them, especially with mental health, because mental health does play such a crucial role in how we act and interact with people and just who we are. And so it's not just about overcoming, it's really about appreciating them. A lot of people have this idea that mental health is either being depressed or being super happy all the time, and it's just not. It's really a very complex interplay of so many things, of our experiences and of the people around us, the opportunities we have, the resources we have, and just how we build relationships with other people. And you know, there were a lot of times where like my feelings and my experiences, good and bad, felt so real to me. And the most profound thing I learned was every single other person also has that. It's very complicated and it's something that everybody experiences. So a lot of my journey was all about learning to break bad habits and replace them with better ones. A lot of people, when they think of the word habit, they think of like a habitual action that you do, something that you do. But habits can also be other things, like how you think. For example, you can get in the habit of having a negative mindset or jumping to a conclusion or something like that. It's easy to get stuck and get in the habit of not addressing your mental health and of letting things bother you and things like that. And so tools for breaking habits that I use a lot are really mindfulness and just like appreciating like the simple and the objective, because you know, simplification is pretty cool because you can just look at the tree and see how beautiful it is and look at how blue the sky is and not really have to worry about all of the analytical stuff that you get in the habit of emphasizing in your mind. So that, and then also just learning to use my support system and how to talk to people and how to, you know, reach out to them if I needed help or wanted to talk with them. Throughout my journey, the cool thing was there was never a point of true like hopelessness. There was never a point where there just wasn't hope. And you know, it was hope in small things and big things. There were times where it felt like the hope might be outweighed by negative things, but whether it be, you know, having a conversation with an adult in your life that you cared about, or spending 5 minutes outside, little things like that, or big things like getting into college, accomplishing goals, like achieving things that you're striving for, those were like little bits of hope. And I think the big like breakthrough moment for me was just noticing that like hope was there all along. There was never a moment where there wasn't any. If somebody's struggling, I would like to tell them that addressing, acknowledging, and working on your mental health is something that we're all worthy of just as people, and we're all capable of as people. And you know, I think a lot of people are kind of reluctant to reach out to help or to talk to their friends or family about mental health just because they don't feel like their problem's significant enough, or they don't feel like their stressor is as big as a deal as other people's. And so I'd really just like to say that like you are worthy of addressing your mental health, no matter how big or small your problem is, because like I said, it is just something that every person has an individual experience about. The more you talk about mental health with other people, the more the benefits of doing that will outweigh the potential harm of the stigma around it. That doesn't mean that the stigma ever really goes away, just because like a lot of it is fabricated in our own minds. Like for me, the mental health stigma that I have and the kind of fears and reluctance that I have in sharing my story is definitely not because the people in my life don't want to hear about it, but because I'm afraid that the people in my life don't want to hear about it. And the problem with that is, if we all stand here afraid that nobody wants to listen to us, then nobody will talk. So the more you talk, the more you break the ice and kind of face up to stigma, the easier it gets and the benefits will just really increase.